Sometimes you only have a limited amount of time to study English, but you really want to learn a lot. Maybe you only have 3 days? Well, that's exactly why I created today's English study plan. I'm going to tell you how to study English in 3 days, following a proven plan that will help you to speak English with more fluency. Are you ready, guys? Hi everyone, my name is Shalima. Welcome back to my another session of learning English and improving your English speaking skills with me. So, before beginning, please subscribe to the channel so that you can get all the lessons that I post for you on this channel. Please like the video and share it with your friends, with your loved ones and with the person who really need this. Alright, so let's get started. With day number 1. Now, day number 1 is listen to a podcast about one topic. Now, the focus of day 1 is putting information into your brain. If you want to speak English fluently, you must first start by putting English into your brain. Now, let's see how this actually happens on day 1. So, first you need to decide which interest you want to focus on. You see, when you focus on something that you are interested in, you won't get bored. This means that you will retain information a lot faster and for a longer period of time. Now, you will see on the screen a few of my interests. I love to paint, I love to cycle, I love to cook, I love basketball and I love running. I have a lot of interest and you probably have a lot of interest too. But on day 1, you must pick one of your interest. So I have showed you my interest and I'm gonna choose running. So here we go, let's look at running. Okay, I have chosen running as my interest. Now, still on day 1, the next thing is find a podcast related to your interest. You see, podcasts are a great way to hear natural English conversations between native English speakers about topics, and you are already interested in this. This means that you will enjoy listening to the conversations. Now, I am going to explain this a little bit more, but I want to really emphasize the benefits of listening to English podcast. They are totally free. You can hear real conversations about topics you actually care about, and it's easy to do something else while you have them playing in your ear. So again, day 1, pick your interest, then find a podcast. Now you may be asking, Teacher Shalima, how do I find a podcast? So well, you can go to the Google or whatever search engine you are familiar with, okay? And you have to do is type in English podcast about, okay? And then I put running because that's my interest, okay? So you can change that words or expressions to reflect your interest, alright? So English podcast about ... Alright, now again we are still on day 1, so we found our podcast. Now you need to write down 9 vocabulary words that you don't know. You see, as you hear the words, you are going to write them down, then simply continue listening to the podcast episode. Don't look up the words because you need to give your brain an opportunity to guess the meanings of the words. Basically, you will start learning the words in context. This gain is something that's very important for you to remember as you are listening. I don't want you to sit there and stress about having a dictionary, right? Next, to you to look up every word. No. All you need to do is, as you are listening, I don't know that word. Write it in your notebook and continue listening to the podcast. Now, this is going to help you a lot. Fourth thing again is still on day 1. Now at the end of the podcast, you are going to search for the meanings of each vocabulary word. You see, after you have finished listening to the episode, okay, you can look up the words. This is because you will already have a good grasp of the content that was discussed during the episode, and this will help you to remember the word faster and make connections in your brain. But don't memorize the words just yet. So you are seeing on the screen 2 of the words, okay, words from the 9 that I had in the previous step, right? You want to make sure after you finish listening to the podcast episode, that is when you look up the words. Now I do want to practice some pronunciations with you, okay? So let's do really quickly. So 2 of the 9 words you will see right here that I choose are right, are here, bound and leap. Now I want you to repeat after me. Bound. Excellent. Now one more time. Bound. Good. Now the word just means to walk or run. Leaping, strides. Now the second word you see that I have here is leap. Good. Again, leap. Excellent. Now this just means to jump or spring a long way to a great height or with great force. So now again, these are the words that I choose just to show you as an example. Okay, after I listened to the podcast, I wrote the meanings underneath the words inside of my notebook. This is day 1. Okay, finding a podcast that's based on your interest. Now we need to move on day number 2. Alright, so learn the words by memorizing them. Once again, this is putting information in. It's very important when you are trying to speak English fluently that you are putting a lot of information in. And don't worry, I'll get to that part where I'll tell you how to get that information out. Alright, so day 2, learn the words by memorizing them. So here we go, memorize each of the vocabulary words and their definitions. You see, the goal is to make sure you know each vocabulary word like the back of your hand. So on day 2, you need to focus and memorize each word. Well, you see, bound, leap, pace, shuffle, bolt, trot. Okay, these are the words that I use from the podcast, but again, I want to emphasize on day 2, you need to master the vocabulary words, you need to memorize them well. But remember, you have some connections because you listen to the full podcast on day 1. Now the next thing, still on day 2, is to test yourself to see if you know the words. You see, after you memorize the word, you need to verify that you actually know them. So you can use flashcards. Write out the definitions or have someone quiz you like. Okay, there is a phone conversation happening between a student and a teacher, and the teacher says, "Hey, can you explain what the word saunter means?" Now again, you can have flashcards, okay? You can write out the definitions, but it's very beneficial when you have someone to practice. So guys, on day 2, you need to practice to make sure you understand and know the words. You can practice with yourself, okay? And you can do the practice 10 minutes. Alright, now let's talk about the day number 3. Now you have already practiced with yourself. Okay, now you have come to day 3. Use the vocabulary words you learned. I promised you will get the information out. On day 3 is when the information you put in on day 1 and day 2 will come out. So how do you do that? Here we go, first divide the words you choose by 3 days. Okay, 3 days goal is to use the words in 3 different ways. So you need to divide them equally. First, so you have three different sets of 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 and 8. Now after you have done that, you are going to record a short video clip of you explaining 3 of the words. You see, when you teach something, okay, that you learn, you will remember it for a longer period of time. So recording a video of yourself teaching 3 of the words will give you more confidence and help you to remember them. Okay, now I am gonna quickly read to you what I said in my video from 3 of the words I learned from day 1 in the podcast episode about running. So here we go, follow along here my video. Hey, this week I learned a lot of my new vocabulary words. I learned bound, which is similar to what kangaroos do as they move through the fields. Then I learned leap, which reminds me of what grasshoppers do as they move through the grass. I also learned pace, which reminds me how marathon runners move at a consistent pace. I recorded my video clip explaining bound, leap and pace, and then this video clip can be shared with other students and other English learners. Again, getting the information out that put in now. Here's the other way you are gonna do again on day 3. Day 3 is going to be a lot of action, a lot of activity, putting into practice what you learn, then comment under various videos or blog post using 3 of the words you see throughout your day. You need to find ways to use 3 of the words you learn. You can use 1 word per comment in order to practice what you learn. Now on the screen right now, you see 3 different things. The left, it's YouTube, the middle is Facebook, and the right is Instagram. I use all 3 of these social media platforms every single day, and you probably have certain social media platforms that you use on a regular basis. So the point of day 3 is to take the information you put in and connect it with your real life things you already use on a regular basis. So let's say, for example, there was a video and the video had runners in it. I could comment and say there were a few people sauntering around in the background. Okay, what about Facebook? I could comment underneath a post or an image and say, wow, you both are amazing, you never shuffle your feet. And what about Instagram? I have watched, okay, teacher Shalima, she's pretty good. I like her videos, and she had a video where she shared the tips and techniques, and I commented and said, wow, teacher Shalima has so much energy, I think she can bolt. So again, you see, I used 3 of the words and I commented under a Facebook post or YouTube video and an Instagram post. Now here the other thing you need to do, write a personal post about your day using 3 of the words. Remember, we have 3 sets of 3. So now we are on our last set. In order to remember words, you must use them in real life. Basically, you need to use the words to speak about your life. So you will write 1 post using 3 of the words. Now I actually always put the post on my YouTube, on my Instagram. Also have to do the same thing, connecting the words with your real life. Over a 3-day period, learn a lot of English and start speaking more fluently. I really hope that you enjoyed this lesson. I think guys you liked the video, and if you liked the video, please give thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe my channel. If you are new on my channel, so welcome to my channel. So thanks for watching. Bye bye, take care.